So there's an ongoing talk about the revolution that Russell Brand supposedly started. Like the current revolution, the flavor of the month revolution. So I was watching this guy do his reaction to it, like in a video response, even though on YouTube we don't have video responses. Actually, I watched two of these, and one of them was on SourceFed, which is this fast-talking, witty, useless jibber-jabber. Scripted, of course. It's delivered by this guy. I don't know what he's on, some kind of energy drink or something. It doesn't impress me, and I hope it doesn't impress you. So I'm going to talk a little bit slower here. So if you don't have the patience, feel free to tune out. Make a comment about my hair or something. Or the beard, Show your intimidation from the beard. Intimidated from, intimidated by, intimidated with. So SourceFed did that, and I thought, okay, they're just being sarcastic and snide, and you really don't get anything out of that. Then this other guy did one called Channel Topher, I think Unpopular View. I've never seen him before, but he gets quite a bit of traffic and feedback. So he said that he agrees superficially with the basics of the Russell Brand position, the Russell Brand, revolutionary ideas, but he disagrees, and he starts with saying that the socialist egalitarian solution is not going to work. So he's just using the quote from Russell Brand himself, saying that we have to a massive redistribution of wealth is what must happen so that we can do this revolution. Now, while I agree with this person's reaction or criticism, there's also a lot of things that I don't agree with. So I think that I can say the same things about Russell Brand, but I don't really believe that this other vlogger is proposing any solutions. But let me go on here with the kind of hypocrisy that's going on with Russell Brand and people, echoing him, because it's been touted as a spiritual revolution. Well, if it's a spiritual revolution, it has nothing to do with materialism, because that is, if you have to draw the line and understand the duality, the essence, the meaning of spirituality is not to be concerned with the material. So while Russell Brand kind of covers himself in these layers of intellect, and you're not quite sure what he's doing when he's putting on the show Messiah Complex, I don't think we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that he stands for the Messiah, or whether he's pointing fingers at it and saying ha ha ha, but it's leaning in that direction, that he takes things out of context from the prophets, especially Jesus, and he's saying, oh, this makes sense, this is something that I can repeat in my sound bites, but his concluding message is that we don't need these kind of leaders. We only need leaders like myself, who are comedians, who are not really taking responsibility for what we're saying or we're doing. We don't really have to live the life. We can just talk the talk. And see, this is my main problem with the Russell Brand and the Russell Brand followers and Russell Brand wannabes. I have a lot of viewers, and actually some associates of mine are saying, you know what, Russell Brand must be watching your material that I've been putting out for 8 years on YouTube in the form of video. And prior to that, in the independent film world, you know, I'm a SAG, Screen Actors Guild producer. I did kind of indie stuff, if you want to call it that, with lack of much distribution, just very close, limited screenings. And you know, like in that business, you got to go the film festival circuit's route, and you know, it's a lot of work to get accepted and commercialized and enough exposure. So, reason why about 8 years ago, which was like the big turning point of technology around 2004, 2005, 2006. Well, it was a done deal by 2006. I was looking for other venues of media. So having said that, how could someone not be affected by all the information and the messages and just the whole vibe that I've been putting out? It's impossible. But it's also impossible to prove that anybody in Russell Brand's camp or Russell Brand himself has been spying in on me. I'm sure that, you know, I'm not at this point at a liberty to say something legal-wise, and he probably isn't either. And, you know, because of his pride and his capitalistic machine that he's got going on, he's not going to admit to anything either. But see, that's where we come back down to, is the capitalistic influence and control of everything that's going on. So people that are so high on him need to be very careful that they're not in on a totally hypocritical, you know, fancy talk without any teeth to it, without any real practical plan. And that's what we're lacking here, because if we just pat ourselves on the back and say, you know, oh, I understood Russell Brand, you know, I stood for that, you know, I tweeted that, I posted that, reposted on my Facebook, you haven't done anything, okay? Sorry to, you know, rain on your parade, you didn't do a damn thing. While I'm out there on the front lines actually doing a spiritual revolution, day in and day out, I haven't yet decided to get a little bit better groomed and go on some big money-making venture through all the capitals in Las Vegas and you name it, to spew out my wonderful ideas. I'm just saying it raw and unrehearsed and unkempt and real, keeping it real. How many people's on this guy's crew? How many publicists? How many PR people? How many spoon feeders to the mainstream? How do you think he gets on to these big networks? And then everyone's going to be like, oh, it was so authentic, man. Yeah, it really happened. No, it didn't. Put me and him in a cage together, and I'm sure he'd be in a corner. I recant. Not a real revolutionary, are you? Well, sorry for all those people who are going to believe in revolution of that, how do I put it, that, like, out of a box. You want it out of a box? You want instant? You want the powdered variety? Just add hot water? What has he done? What has Russell Brand done? Does he have a biography? I have to look this up. Do these kind of people actually have a track record of going out there and doing the things that they say. Oh, you're going to redistribute wealth, huh? The government should be doing that. How exactly is the government going to do that when the government's only purpose is to regulate the exchange of money between people and collect taxes? How are they actually going to do that? Are we talking about East Germany now? Circa 1950s? Is that the plan? Yeah, those kind of experiments work out real well. If you're on, like, a small deserted island with a population of about 200 people. Yeah, they work out real well, Russell Brand. And why don't you be the first to start redistributing your wealth? How about we figure that out first so that you give a solid example? What's he worth? Probably, it's in the millions, right? I don't know his net worth. I don't know where it's ever been calculated in Fortune magazine, or I mean, what's the value of his hair alone? Like how much he pours in at the stylist in the hair salon. You know, all those products. How about we take those and we just get all the receipts and return those, cash them in, and then you take that money and let's just pick a bunch of people like in a poor country, or maybe Bangladesh, or maybe how about in London, in one of the really poor neighborhoods, the ghetto, the what do they call it? What's the barrio? Oh, well, they don't have too many Latinos there. Well, let's just say it's in like this just real destitute area, you know, where people are living in cardboard shacks. And just tell them, you know, the government is now changing, and the revolution's here, and it's going to be spiritual. But first we have to start by giving you $5 each from Russell Brand's fortune. That's how it's all going to begin. See? That's how it's all going to begin. We're just going to start giving away. Now, of course, I'm being facetious. Of course it's not going to happen that way. Of course nobody wants it that way. That's why he's doing it, because it's safe. He's throwing this sweet talk out there. He's not going to do anything because he knows that nobody really wants him to do that. Because then he's going to end up all poor. He's not going to get on CNN. And he's going to be kind of in a position where I'm in. And then people are going to say, "What's your name again? Oh, you don't have anything? Oh, I guess you don't have a platform now where we're going to listen to you on our mainstream media." So he's actually going to be, it's catch-22. A spiritual revolution would be kind of like, you don't have any materialism to begin with. You don't start at that level. You go to the root cause of everything, and you start affecting people in a spiritual way. So spiritual energy is going out there and connecting, and it's flowing spiritually with people who are really at the level of being able to receive that and being open to that. They are not prisoners tied in to the government political system to begin with. You can't just get people out of that political system because you're redistributing wealth. You know, if you've got $500 over here and then you take 100 people and give them $5 each, you know, it doesn't really make anything happen. Because on a spiritual level, even in the mind, because the spirit is supposed to run the mind. If you're spiritually, you know, if you got that real smile on your face, and you're really in love with life, and you're really in love with humanity, and you're really full of compassion, then you've got like this glow coming from you. You've got this energy that people feel when they're with you. Not through video. You can't convey it through video. So that's why all these superstar pop idols have a way to get through to you in video, because that's the slick advertising. That's that style. That's like that prepackaged stuff. It's not spirituality, because spirituality does not transfer through video. Video is the senses. Video is through what you can see and what you can hear, and you can kind of imagine maybe a few of the other senses in there, but just by implication, implying it. But when it comes to spirituality, is that implied behind all of it? Well, no, not really. I don't see anything that he's done in any of his videos, any of his interviews, and none of the footage gives me any idea that he's redistributing wealth, that there's a whole bunch of people around him really following him and living this better life day by day, constantly improving, that would be revolutionary. Yeah, that would be. So for all you people that are reacting to it, sort of like how I have, I hope that you understand the main points that I'm putting out there. And let's really do something about it. It takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight because like the mainstream media wants to put out like this nice, happy headline to fool everybody. It happens actually through slow, arduous process. Things that I've been doing for 20, 30 years. That I don't get the pat on the back, I don't get the appreciation, I don't get the big name and neon lights. No, but I'm happy because I know that that's reality. It's not some fake reality show interview of revolution. It's not that. It's not that. The most revolutionary thing is actually you conquering yourself and not being a part of the problem. If that's what I'm doing, and I'm actually talking to people who are listening, who are doing the same thing from their own point of view, their own context of their own life, this is the revolution. It takes a little bit more than a few sound bites and a slick interview. It takes constant discussion, constant reminder, constantly inspiring people with everyday acts of simplicity. Like, you know yourself, personally, privately. Only you know, in your relationship with the source, with the great creator, the one who sent you, like I do. Okay, that's the only way that I know. And I know darn well that nobody else can have any revolution any other way. It's just the you know, branded, like watered down, fake, counterfeit revolution. So feel free to disagree. You know, feel free to ignore me if you really think that, you know, Russell Brand has something more truthful to say than I've been delivering to you for years, quietly. Maybe not so quietly, but underground, you know, more at the grassroots level. And someday we're going to find out. I hope that you're on the right side of things and not in the wrong side to where you're believing in lies and something that's just being said. That in fact is the saddest thing that there can ever be, is that people who are not what they say they are. They just talk the talk, you know? They just talk the talk. Well, I've got to get back to my life until I make another video. Thanks for listening.